has a lot of skills.
He had made the sport bigger in Sweden. The sport would be different if he wouldn't have been there.
Biggest moment with the most pressure, he can stay so calm and so focused.
And that is the answer. How could he be #1 in the world?
And this is pursuit of greatness.
This is the Royal Hospital, Chelsea. This is stage 12 of the Longines Global Champions Tour, and this is GCTV. My name is Mark Lewis. Welcome and thank you for joining us on a beautiful summer's day in London. The clouds have been threatening throughout the weekend, but in perfectly timed fashion, here today for the LGCT Grand Prix of London, it is opened up and it has been turned into an absolutely stunning, beautiful day as we get ready to welcome the best riders of the weekend as they go head-to-head to compete for big championship points, a golden ticket to the LGCT Super Grand Prix and Prague, of course for some major prize money as well. Which of these riders in the start list will then be on top of the podium by the end of the afternoon? Stay with us here, we will find out. We are on the doorstep of the Chelsea pensioners, the beautiful flowing gardens just to my left-hand side behind me, and they have been so wonderfully warm in welcoming us here today. And in fact, Rosie has caught up with some of those pensioners to just get a better understanding to find out how they go about their business. Rosie, tell us a little bit more, please.
That's right, Mark. Alongside me now are two of the Chelsea pensioners. I've got Colin and Eddie alongside me. Colin, I want to start with you. Just tell us, who are the Chelsea pensioners?
Oh, the Chelsea pensioners were formed by King Charles II. As he was going through the streets of London, he saw men who had lost limbs, probably eyes, legs, etc. And he realised that these people had given them all, their all, for him to get on the throne. And he had compassion, and he commissioned Sir Christopher Wren to actually draw a plan up in order to try and help those people. So each person got a room, they got a square meal a day, and they also got, I think it was 2 beers, because the water was very contaminated at that time. So it's a means of wetting the internal organs and making them a wee bit happier about life.
Beer's always better than water anyway. We do have the hospital behind us. Eddie, you were saying you can actually see your room from here, but what's it like living here?
We're well and truly spoiled. Everything's taken care of.
You do have a lot of events here in your back garden as well, none other than this event itself. What does it do for you guys to have this here?
It's absolutely wonderful. Just walk around, have a great day out, meet all them people, and they're all lovely. Everybody wants to meet you and say hello, so it's a lovely. And then we have the horse show, classical car show, and various other aspects, and it's all very, very, very interesting, and uplifting. Even when we go outside, as I was saying earlier, if I want to walk down the road, it would take me 10 minutes. It can take me up to 3/4 of an hour, perhaps. People want to have photographs taken with you. So it's the Scarlet, that's what it's about. It's all about the Scarlet as well.
It's really the best garden in the world, actually, if you think about it, and it raises your profile too. How important is that for all of you?
Well, I suppose individually it's not important, but for the entire hospital it brings a lot of money in and such like to help out, keep us poor pensioners ticking over. Yeah. But it's, as Colin was saying, we're stopped everywhere by people, and it's thank you for the service and this sort of thing. And a lot of the time we can't even buy our own drinks. People push in and say that's on me, you know. And until you get it around your head that they're not thanking you personally, it's just that we're the figureheads for the entire armed forces, and they're thanking the armed forces for what they do.
Well, quite right. And my last question to you both is, are you good buddies or do we have arguments that go along?
No, we have we're very good buddies. I mean, obviously in here we have a lot of different personalities we've got to deal with. I mean, not everyone's perfect, but Eddie and I met up, and sometimes you just have a marvellous rapport, and I have a good rapport with Eddie, and quite a lot of men in there as well. And we also have about 17 or 18 ladies who are actually part, and they all blend in together. So we've gotten very well, together.
Well, listen, it sounds like a wonderful place, and thank you so much for being here and showcasing yourselves at this event as well. Back to you, Mark.
All right, thank you very much, Rosie. Great to hear from them. And I also love the admission that a warm meal, a roof over your head, and maybe a beer at the end of the day is a lovely way to go about your job. Thank you very much for having us here on your doorstep at the Royal Hospital in Chelsea. Speaking about what is going to happen inside the ring, once again, we have an incredibly strong field today. 7 inside the top 10 of the LGCT overall standings are here present in London and will be competing for those championship points, 4 golden tickets in Prague if they have not yet collected one. Let's remind you then as to who those 7 are and who then will be competing in today's Grand Prix. Michael van der Vleuten, Christian Kukuk, Simon de Lestre, Henrik van Ackerman, Harry Smolders, the man to catch, Peter de Vos, and of course Edwina Tops Alexander. But many would say that the intriguing battle here that is developing is between van der Vleuten and between Smolders. That seems to be the battle between 1 and 3. The 2 Dutchmen going head to head. Smolders in the driving seat with only 6 scores having been counted thus far this year. Remember, only your top 8 scores count. Michael van der Vleuten has already registered 8 scores. That means that anything he does from this point in only benefits his tally based on the difference. Whereas Harry Smolders still has 2 open scorecard areas that he can completely put in the full tally of points. Let's show you how these 2 then have gone along throughout the entire season. Michael van der Vleuten, early on, collected a huge amount of points. Massive podiums, victories as well, and jumped out to a very early lead. But since then, Harry Smolders, in fact, has become the biggest return on investment rider here in the LGCT. And now, as it stands at 231 to 194, Harry Smolders is indeed, arguably by many saying, that he is the man to catch because of only those 6 scores. If he and Monaco once again get into the jump-off, once again get into a podium today, there is going to be a huge points haul, a big points tally for Harry Smolders to pick up. What is that then doing for Michael van der Vleuten? He's held on to this lead for an incredibly long time, and now right towards the business end of the season, needs to hold on to it. He is standing by alongside Rosie. Let's talk to our championship leader and see how he's feeling going into today's Grand Prix.
Well, with me now is the man at the top of the standings. We've got Michael alongside me. Michael, let's cut straight to it. Are you worried about Harry?
Well, yeah, Harry is definitely a man who's in top shape at the moment. His horses are feeling good, and he's definitely a combination with a good chance today, also for the victory. And which makes it exciting, of course. Beauville also jumped very well yesterday, so I go good with confidence into the Grand Prix today. So let's see, how far we can get.
And how has Beauville come out of yesterday? Feeling fresh and good today?
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much ahead, but no, we had a little bit moving this morning, and he was feeling fresh and like yesterday. So we see.
And in terms of the competition, have you had a chance to reflect on your 8 scores?
I think I have 8 now at the moment. So I think my lowest one is 15. So I definitely need to get above that, to make at least a few points. But we don't need to think too much about that. Just try to do my thing and just see how far we can get today.
So for you, it's round by round. Have you had a look at the course today? What are your main worries?
No, I just had a look a little bit, but it looks a serious track. When we saw the last class, which is just finished, also many faults were happen. You know, many rails in the sand. So it's gonna be tough. And but as I said, my horse feels good, and I know that if he's in good shape, he's able to do all the courses. So. It should be today as well, so we go for it.
I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
So Michael van der Vleuten is well aware of the threat that Harry Smolders poses in this championship race. But he's focusing on himself and on Beauville, looking to go clear, getting into the jump-off and trying to take as many points out as possible. But for Harry Smolders, he has this incredible luxury of waking up every day of the week and deciding which LGCT Grand Prix winner he would like to ride. In Riesenbeck, it was Eureka's. Here, now in London, it's going to be Monaco. I took some time to go out to the stables to meet up with this combination, to meet up with Harry, to meet up with Monaco, and spend a little time to get to know them a little better.
Monaco NOP. I got him when he was 7 years old and he's now 14, so we're already 7 years together. He's a very social horse. They all like him. He has a lot of energy. Every day again, his work ethic is unbelievable high. And he likes people. He likes the attention. And he likes his nap, by the way. He likes to sleep on the shows. That's probably also, he knows when to save his energy for the right moment. He's not so happy when the lorry leaves without him.
He looks very alert to things that are happening around us. Is that part of his character?
He's still very sharp. Like if I go like yesterday in the ring, every time again, it's like, it feels like a new show. But that's probably also his quality. He's 14 years old, he has all the experience, but every time over again, it's like the energy level is unbelievable.
Can you talk to us about his breeding?
He's by Cassini, he's Holsteiner bred. I found him in Italy. He kept developing, and that's probably also his biggest quality, that he always wants to improve, and he always wants to become a better horse.
How would you describe him physically?
He's very athletic, very light off the floor, light mover. Yeah, and I think he's always getting better through the show, every day, every round, and the last day he's on his best.
What do you think makes him such a strong show jumper?
He's unbelievable coachable. And when it's really important, you can always count on him. He's very solid. Consistency but that's probably the partnership we developed. Communication between me and him, and he knows he's so clever when it is important, you know.
What do you do to switch him on?
It's a little bit the program, you know. The first day we are very casual, and he feels that he can play around. And then I tell him it's more serious the last day, for example. We jump a little bit bigger in the paddock, and then he knows when he comes in, there's a lot of people. He knows this is the game. Now I need to be on.
What a lovely opportunity to get to spend a little more time with Monaco, a slightly closer look at just that relationship that has developed over the years and now it's turned into an incredible partnership for Harry Smolders and Monaco. I remind you that he won on Eureka's in Riesenbeck, and now here we are, seemingly what feels like just the other day, now in London. Monaco standing by, Harry looking to earn major points, looking to continue jumping into that, eating into that lead of Michael van der Vleuten. We caught up with him just a moment ago. Let's find out how he's feeling ahead of the LGCT Grand Prix of London.
Harry, a big day for you today. Just tell us how you're feeling ahead of it.
It's a beautiful day. We have good weather. We just seen already a very fast class, and we're really looking forward for the Grand Prix.
You are fighting for first position here. Obviously, Michael is just ahead of you now. How much is that playing on your mind?
It's a bit in the back of my mind, of course, but we focus on today, and my horse feels very well. It's a very strong lineup today, so hopefully it's going to be my day.
Are you feeling the pressure at all, or is it just another day for you?
No, it's just another day. I mean, we have already some experience. We know that sport is not every day. You cannot win every day. But like today, I think we're going to see great sport, a lot of good competitors, We've seen already the whole weekend, but now it's the highlight is coming up.
Very good luck.
Imagine being so cool, so calm, and so collected that right now into the final straight of a championship race where you are arguably the guy that can take the championship lead away from Michael van der Vleuten. You can go on to win the overall LGCT title. That your response is, well, it's another day. That is how confident, that is how calm Harry Smolders is feeling ahead of today's Grand Prix. There is a golden ticket to be given away. And throughout the year, just to bring you up to speed, we give away one golden ticket to the LGCT Super Grand Prix in Prague at the end of the year to every single LGCT winner along the season. Let's remind you as to who then has collected their golden tickets thus far. From the start of the season in Doha, moving our way through to Mexico, Madrid, Edwin Tops Alexander, no jump off. What a Grand Prix that was. Michael van der Vleuten, big statement for him in Cannes. Harry Smolders winning in Monaco. And what a victory for Bertram Allen in A Coruña. And then Max Kuhne picking up that victory in Riesenbach thanks to another victory it was for Harry Smolders. So that golden ticket goes to Max Kuhne. But London is open, London is available, and London is blank. So out of these riders, the best in the world here today competing on the LGCT stage, which of these riders then is going to put their name next to Max Kuhne? Which of these riders will we then see joining the LGCT Super Grand Prix later this year? We'll find out by the end of the afternoon. We'll take a quick break. When we return, more build-up here from London.
Courageous,
Organized. Dedication.
skillful, artist,
Modern.
genius,
Perfection.
I'm trying to get in the right state of mind.
I am Peder Fredriksson.
He has a lot of experience, a great rider.
Peder is really inspiring.
He loves to share his knowledge.
When you win, you're celebrating together. If it goes badly, you share it with the team. I like it.
but it's not so easy.
He has a lot of skills.
Peder made the sport bigger in Sweden. The sport would be different if he wouldn't been there.
Biggest moment with the most pressure, he can stay so calm and so focused.
And that is the answer. How could it be number one in the world?
And this is Pursuit of Greatness.
Welcome back to London and welcome back to the Royal Hospital Chelsea as we get ready for the LGCT Grand Prix of London getting underway in a few moments' time. We were met with a beautiful summer's day here in London, and I must just warn us, there is a little bit of cloud that's starting to develop overhead. I wonder if that may play a role later on, depending on how much, if at all, any rain does come down. Well, we haven't sent Gareth out with a rain jacket, so I hope that for his sake the rain does stay away. He's inside the ring, ready to give us some reaction as to what Uliana Vizzani has put together for today's Grand Prix. I expect it to be big. I expect it to be technical. I expect the fences to be light. Gareth, tell us what we can expect today in the course-walk.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back down here to the arena floor at the Royal Hospital Chelsea. Who's going to stand in the centre of that podium here this afternoon? We will find out. They have got a truly world-class challenge on their hands, though, once again courtesy of Vleuten. I think if I was going to use a word from what I've seen, I'd say delicate. You've got to be so delicate, precise. Absolutely, this is a real test of a horse and rider really working together, really understanding what each other need. We're going to take you on a little trip around the second half of this course. The number 8 here, it's just coming away from home. Interestingly, this sort of narrow fence, these 3 open poles, again, they don't take a lot of touching. And the distance they come off, it's a 3-stride distance coming away from home. Over that parallel, coming away from the collecting ring, you're getting deeper into the course. It's a very open, flowing course as you'd come to expect. And then we can begin to take this forward. You'll remember, we're jumping a height of 1.60 meters. This is right up to height here this afternoon. And also, not only is it up to height, it's out to width, because the width is also a big part of the test. And when you get to a fence like the taxis here in London with these striped poles, 1.55 meters wide. It is 1.50 meters high, 1.55 wide. It's a big, wide parallel. Coming off the 6 strides on the curve, just depends how the horses are going. They're jumping into the audience as well. Always something that can distract the horse's eye. Again, really important all the time. The horses and riders working together. The rider got to keep that horse concentrated. Now we're going to open up the turn here. We're going to go on this wide route. We're going to just cut the corner a little bit because we're coming back to what is always one of the most famous sights in any of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, and it can be one of the most influential parts as well because it is the combination. And I have a feeling that today this combination is going to play its part once again. When you stand here and look down it, it is an absolute monster. We'll take you into the middle in a moment, but those Longines poles all beginning to blend, and even from the beginning, you're coming off this corner here, it's giving you quite a long run up to the combination. Sometimes that can help the horse, sometimes it can work against them, because the rider not coming off a related distance is going to have to judge the takeoff point absolutely perfectly, because that is going to set them up. If they don't get the in right, they're going to struggle, never mind in the middle, when they get down to the far end as well. So let's take a little look into the middle of this combination. We know right away from the beginning here, it's a single stride, and then you get this big parallel here in the middle. Comes a little bit short for the first part, but that's a big power stretch where you need to really sit that horse back, get it underneath you so that it can use all of its body, all of its energy, all of its muscle to get itself clear over that. But then it's not over, is it? Because you think you land over that, and then again, 2 strides straight away, on you go, down to the second part of, well, the third part of this combination. The second parallel is where I'm going with that. And again, Vleuten really testing the power of these horses. Not only the precision, not only their accuracy, but it is a real power test when you're jumping. And look how wide this is as well. We know these don't take a lot of touching. They never have, they never will. If you give them a little rub, you can be in all sorts of trouble. But again, it's about giving your horse the exact right moment. This is a little bit longer on the 2 strides coming out. Having gone short, going long, you then keep on moving. Of course, the course is taking you towards home and you're going towards that in-gate. Coming round the corner here on this right-hand bend, we'll take you here to this 1.60 meters upright. It is a big, big fence, absolutely maximum, plenty for the horse just to get drawn into. Now they put the flowers at the bottom, you can have a good look at those. Again, a little bit like a water tray, that is likely to perhaps draw the horse in to the bottom. They'll just keep their eye, rather than on the white pole on top, on the pole above. So, I wonder if, Kevin, can I grab a quick word with Kevin Stout, of course part of the Grand Prix. Kevin, what are your thoughts on this course so far?
I didn't finish to walk the course yet, but from what I have seen right now, it seems to have 2 difficult combinations. The first double is big to go in, the Oxer, and then we have 2 Oxer again in the triple. It's always a difficult one for the horses, going in with a vertical, then Oxer 1 stride and Oxer 2 strides. So yeah, it seems to be big enough, tough, long way, sometimes during the turns between the lines. But okay, when you see the level here, the combinations, not just the riders, but they're also here with the best horses, for sure you need a proper Grand Prix to make the difference.
We wish you the best of luck. I'll let you finish going walking. Kevin Stout, top 6 in Doha. He will be looking to try and go a little bit higher here today. Now let's just take you down here to the final line, because this is fascinating. When you remember, there are 13 numbered fences out here. That's 15 different jumping efforts. And I haven't seen the time allowed yet, but let's just say it's about an average of 70 seconds. They're jumping a fence around about every 4 seconds. You think of the reaction time as riders, there is just no time to think. They've got to just have that natural instinct, natural understanding. Now here we are at the final line. Big Ben. What else? We're here in London. But the golden plank and, of course, the quill of Winston Churchill, sorry, I should say William Shakespeare, sat beside us here as well. It's as light as anything. We know how tricky the planks are. At 1.60 meters, again, my little finger could lift that. It is that light. Going on from here down to the last 4 strides to what is a really fascinating fence. It's a fence that is, in its colour, we've seen all weekend, it's caused a few problems, and when the water tray, it's been underneath, it's made it that bit more difficult. I think it's a fascinating challenge. Delicate is the word I would use. We'll see what turns out here in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix this afternoon. Let's go to Rosie, because she's got another one of the stars of the show.
Thank you, Gareth. I've got Christian with me now. How are you feeling ahead of today?
Oh, I feel good. We had a good team yesterday, team class. So everything's positive for the moment.
You didn't jump Mumbai yesterday in the class. Was that sort of the game plan coming into today?
First plan was actually to jump him in the second round yesterday, but then I had such a good feeling on Just Be Gentle and she felt fresh enough for a second round, so I decided to jump her, and then I hope Mumbai is fresh enough today.
And you're sort of hunting down Michael here. Is that on your mind now, looking towards the end of the season?
Yeah, for sure. This is in my head. But anyway, I try always my best to have a good result, and then we see.
Have you taken time to figure out the scores that you need to beat him?
No idea, no.
So it's just another day for you?
Exactly.
How is your horse feeling ahead of today? Have you had time to warm Mumbai up? Obviously, like you said, didn't jump yesterday. Do you think that will be detrimental to today?
Well, he felt a bit tired actually on Friday, probably because of the trip. So I think in the end it was good that he didn't jump yesterday. I just rode him a little bit, so he feels fresh enough today again. And hope all's good.
You've had time to look at the course. There's really no room for errors for you in the standings at the moment. Where do you think the errors might come in this course?
Well, I think we have a few tough lines here actually. When I see the outside line, there is a very big oxer away from the in-gate. Then the triple combination with 2 oxers out is always a struggle. And then you're not home. The last line, I think, is a very, very huge oxer with a short stride there. So technical enough.
Good luck.
Thank you.
So, Christian Kukuk having some words with us. And again, much like Harry Smolders, playing along the lines of, it's just another day at the office. They are not overhyping the stage. They are not trying to put too much pressure on their shoulders. It is simply about coming out to London, doing the business, and of course, jumping as well as you can, trying to stay clear, trying to tackle this course that Gareth has taken us through, what Uliana Bazzani has put together today. You talk about that 1.60 meters, you talk about the amount of energy required to lift any one of those poles, any one of those fences, just how delicate they are and how quickly those fences are going to come at these riders. I wonder then how big is the jump-off field going to be by the end of the afternoon? And out of that jump-off field, is it going to contain championship leader? Is it going to contain the man trying to chase him in number 2, number 3? We were talking about Michael van der Vleuten. We were talking about Christian Kukuk, Harry Smolders, etc. Are the big names going to be in that jump-off later on this evening? Well, we will wait and find out. Speaking of what has brought us to this point, let's remind you then that fantastic victory for Harry Smolders in Riesenbach, that golden ticket, then going the way of somebody else after Harry already had locked his down. So let's take you back to Riesenbach and remind you as to what took place in the previous stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome show jumping fans to the beating heart of sport and breeding in Germany. Welcome to Riesenbach. Sinka with Michael Duffy. Heads for the final fence, finds his first distance, jumps it on the angle, but once again double clear for Sinka. And Daniel Deusser now with 1 fence left to jump. Riesenbach might be a prey for Daniel Deusser and Killer Queen. Trevor Breen on Highland President. It's not for Breen. Smolders has not won a Grand Prix this season. He is going to beat Daniel Doiser if he leaves that fence standing. It's been seconds, it's been thirds, but now it's the lead for Harry Smolders by a second, and Ulrikas van der Kastavenne. Kuhner makes it there at the finish and sits just behind Smolders.
Yeah, I only had 4 or 5 results so far, so I definitely need a few more of those. But as it looks now, I think the rest of the season I will be there.
So all smiles on the faces of Daniel Doiser. Of course, Max Kuhner knowing that he gets a golden ticket to the LGCT Super Grand Prix in Prague. And just take a look deep down, inside, look in between the lines there of that smile of Harry Smolders. He knows how valuable those championship points were. He knows that he still only has 6 scores counting. And he knows that absolutely anything that he does today is going to contribute in his hunt of Michael van der Vleuten. The 2 Dutchmen going head-to-head for that LGCT title. And let's not even for a second just forget that Christian Kukuk is wedged in between the 2 of them. The German very quietly going about his business. Yet to win a stage this year in the LGCT Championship, but much like Ben Mayer maybe in 2022, who won the overall championship having not won a single Grand Prix. Christian Kukuk very quietly, very diligently going about his business, collecting championship points and making sure that both Harry Smolders and Michael van der Vleuten are well aware that he is right on their coattails as well. Talking of standings, let's give you just a clearer picture. Let's put the numbers to the names and show you how it stands now. Michael van der Vleuten, the championship leader on 231. Christian Kukuk, just a handful of points ahead of Harry Smolders in second place. And then Harry, today with Monaco, is looking to try and add maximum points. Let's not forget that Henrik von Ackermann has a couple of really low scores that he certainly can improve on as well. He is here with King Edward. King Edward looking very good and very dangerous, as he always does. So ironically, it's not even just about Harry Smolders and or Christian Kukuk. Do not take Henrik von Ackermann out of that conversation. Simon de Lestre, no Malenbeid Jonsson or Julian Eppeyard here, but Edwina Tops-Alexander is indeed present. So she too can go on and add some important points to her tally. After having already won in Madrid earlier on this year, can Edwina Tops-Alexander make it a second victory in 2023? Abdel Sayed, Peter de Vos and Max Kuhner are ready with a golden ticket in the bag as well, as we work our way towards the top 16 on the LGCT overall championship standings. That is the course. Those are the riders. That is what is at stake. Those are the championship points that are up for grabs. Is it going to be a dark horse? Is it going to be a major surprise? Or is it going to be one of those top riders that picks up victory here in London, where we remind you where we are here today, right at the beautiful Royal Hospital in Chelsea. Take a look at the garden, take a look at what is on our doorstep and just how and where we are jumping this afternoon as we get ready for the LGCT Grand Prix of London. The best riders in the world, championship points, golden tickets, and a heck of a lot of prize money, all up for grabs. You'll find out how it plays out right here on GCTV. Thank you for joining us. Let's get ready for the LGCT Grand Prix of London.
Welcome all to London and welcome along to the Longines Global Champions Tour. This fabulous city with some of the most historic sites, from St Paul's Cathedral to Buckingham Palace, and of course some of the most modern towers as well. From the Gherkin to the Shard, we of course are delighted to be here alongside the River Thames that dissects this amazing city, and what a wonderful venue for us to return to once again here in 2023, because we are live with you at the Royal Hospital Chelsea. 300 years of history in this magnificent building. of course, originally commissioned by King Charles II back in 1682 as a retreat for veterans of the British Army. Those famous veterans that we see, of course, out and about in their scarlet coats. It is tremendous that they have welcomed us once more to this fabulous Palace of Jumping. Well, the weather, fingers crossed it'll stay on our side here this afternoon. It's a little bit muggy. It's certainly cloudy, and at the moment it's keeping the sun just in check. Well, London over the years has seen some great wins. Certainly Great Britain have had a good run with Scott Brash and Ben Mayer, but in recent years Sweden and Belgium. Peter Fredriksson, of course, in the field today with his winning ride from 2021, as is the defending champion as well, Peter de Vos, Moms Toupé de la Roque last year, beating Olivia Philipparts, and both riders and the horse that of course took Petter to the top of the table is part of the field. Well, the overall rankings are really starting to come to a crunch. This is the first of the final 4 rounds of jumping. Michael van der Vleuten may well lead at the moment, but the big story is Harry Smolders, because over the course of the season it is the best 8 scores that count over the entire year, and Michael, with those 8 scores already recorded, has less room to improve his scores than Harry, who's only recorded 6 scores so far, and 6 big scores with the win last time out in Riesenbeck. So therefore it's certainly Harry that looks like he's on a charge at the moment. The mascots revealed here this week has certainly been a big hit with the crowd in London, and what a crowd we have here this weekend at the Longines Global Champions Tour. It has been a sellout for weeks to come here today. There is not a spare ticket going anywhere, and the crowd have been certainly blessed with some of the very best horse and rider combinations from around the world to come and jump in front of them. There's a strong contingent of British riders, of course, there's always some home favourites, but ultimately this crowd here, because it's the sport they love, horses and riders working together in unison to tackle this great challenge, this course that's set by Giuliano Vezzani. The Italian maestro sets this track, and it is certainly one, as I've described already today, that looks to be very, very delicate. You need power and precision, you need accuracy all the way. It starts, as we know, over that opening upright with the red letterboxes, those famous red letterboxes you see here in London. Coming round then to this line, it is the 6 short strides from fence 2 to 3, the blue bridge there with that 160 width, 150 high fence. That fence on the corner, the Global Champions upright, is certainly stood upright at 1.60 m. And then you come into this line that dissects the middle of the arena, down to the double. First of all, the Lugano fence with the water tray to draw them in, and then on they go, 5 strides down to what is a single strided double of a parallel to an upright. 1.60 m, the back rail, the final rail in that line. Then on this long loop, and then they come away from home. It's 3 strides between the lamps. The lamps have caught plenty out, and that, when I say delicate, is exactly what I mean. Delicate all the way. 6 strides on the curve to fence number 9, and then you come to the Longines combination. It cuts across this arena, and with no related distance coming into it, they really are going to have to be precise in terms of choosing their takeoff point, balancing their stride pattern coming in off that turn. It's a single stride to start with, but it's a big parallel in the middle. Plenty of power needed there. It is 160 wide, 155 high, 2 strides then, and then you do it all again. 155 high, 160 wide for the next of the parallels coming out, before you then curve away from home. Now this is solid white poles with a little flower bed underneath it. It's a 160 high fence, 7 strides on the curve, and then they continue around this corner into the final line. The delicate plank next to Big Ben is the first part of that. It's a plank on top, it is 160 high, and then you have these 4 strides, but when I say 4, they're as short as you would ever want. And this fence that follows, which is the violin or the viola fence or the cello fence, whichever way you want to call it, with the water tray underneath it with those gold and black poles, well, we'll see. It's a big final test, 155 high, 160 wide. All round, Giuliano once again has given them plenty to think about in this opening round, and the opening round really is a battle of the horse and rider to try and battle against the course designer, because in the first round it's all about just getting the clear round. Then you can start worrying about what your competitors are doing and that time against the clock in the jump off. Well, there is one of the Scarlet Coats, there is one of the Chelsea pensioners, as I say, one of the 300 that have been so welcoming for the years that we keep coming here. It is a fabulous city and a wonderful starting order as we look out across the city of London that begins with Abdurrahman Al-Hadri and Babalu, but Scott Brash, of course a 3-time winner in London, has got a very early draw with Hello Jefferson, picking out some of the other names as well. Of course, you've got in there Niels Brunsils with his wonderful ride Dulux. Mark McCauley for Ireland has been in great form. Simon Delestre, one of the riders up there in the hunt for the championship, and the likes of William Funnell and Jack Whittaker for Great Britain. Peder Fredriksson is back. He won it here 2 years ago after the fall in Stockholm. Great to see him flying along, and then you'll see in the mix there the way the draw fell out saw Michael van der Vleuten and Harry Smolders drawn back to back. Add into that the likes of Ben Mayer, Christian Kukuk, Henrik von Eckermann with King Edward. It is something else. There are 12 horse and rider combinations in this class that have all won Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix together already in their careers. Will one of those add to the list? Will another add their name on to the list? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Fabulous facilities for the horses, for the riders, for the grooms here in London. Although a temporary venue, there is certainly no stone left unturned to ensure the horses have the very best conditions to be able to work in. It is so great to see so many people here. There is no other place to be on this Sunday afternoon. Ludger Beerbem here as well, keeping an eye down there with Michael van der Vleuten, Max Kuhner. Ludger, of course, last year a double winner on the tour. This year, one of the greatest riders in the history of the sport, deciding, of course, to step back and retire just a month ago, but will still be an ever-present part of these rounds when we see him here. It's always great to catch up with him. Well, there is the backdrop to this arena, the golden statue of King Charles II. The crowd are absolutely ready for this. We've got a total of 38 of them coming forward. 350,000 euros worth of prize money. And let's not forget the golden ticket to Prague, to the Super Grand Prix that will go perhaps to the winner, or certainly it's going to go to somebody here this afternoon. If it's somebody that's already got one, of course it does go down the line, as happened in Monaco with Harry Smolders finishing second and Max Kuhner last time out in Riesenbeck. But here we go. Welcome along for the ride. We're live on GCTV for this, the Longines Global Champions Tour of London. The first round of jumping is set to start with a time allowed at 79 seconds. This will be fascinating, and the man that gets us underway is Abdurrahman Al-Hadri for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia with the 11-year-old gelding Babalu. A ride he started with at the back end of last year, his former rider David Ville, and it's a ride that he gets on with so well. He's already helped his nation qualify for Paris and those Olympic Games next year, and now he'd like to deliver a big round here to start things off in London. There's the Battersea Power Station in the background. They're going to need plenty of power down here to jump this course. We've seen some tremendous sport already over the course of the journey, the world adventure that this tour has been on this year. Now it's London's turn. Already an early fence going down. And another sneaky little plank you see on top of that Global Champions fence. Then they come into this line with the water tray under the Lugano fence. Very forward, and that just draws them onto that top rail. Straight away, proving just what a challenge this is going to be this afternoon. There'll be most of the other riders in the class keeping a really close eye on this round. It's one of the advantages. If you're not drawn perhaps in the first 7 or 8, then you usually get a chance just to sneak up onto the tribunes, and later
you are in the class, it really does play you to your strengths, because you can watch a good number and really see how things are working, how it's riding. Will it be like you walked it? Coming into the final line, sitting short, jump on there and over on the last, so 77.26 is the time, which means he was just under 2 seconds inside the time allowed, which I feel therefore perhaps indicates that that should be relatively comfortable for these horse and riders this afternoon. Abdurrahim Al-Hatri, though, unfortunately finishing on a score of 20 with that Babalu. I certainly hoped for a little bit more. He's put in some good rounds already this weekend, and that'll be a tough one. But again, we'll certainly learn from for the future. He's been a tremendous competitor. Well, big cheer for this man. He's a 3-time winner of the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in London. He won it in 2014 on the Great Hello Sanctos, 2017 on Hello Forever, and 2018 on Hello Mr. President. Could it be 2023 on Hello Jefferson, the 14-year-old gelding owned by Lady Pauline Harris and Lady Pauline Kirkham?